Hello, people of God. It's Pastor Stephen at St. Paul's United Church of Christ in Amityville on Saturday, May 16, and this is QuaranVlog number 49. I'm in the sanctuary not too far from the front row of pews where I sat yesterday for our QuaranVlog, but today I'm up where the choir sits, in fact, where the men, the basses and tenors sit, and this is the view that they have of the sanctuary during worship. And if we go up, then we have these beautiful organ pipes, and you can see a little bit of light behind us because I turned on the light behind those. And did you know that those are just for show? We actually now have an electric organ. We've had it for many years. And so it plays through speakers, not through these pipes. But they still are beautiful, and they become a visual focal place for the music, and the speakers are behind. I think they're behind them. But there's also a room behind here. Do you see that there's some greens with some red bows to make you think of Christmas? Well, it should, because we are in the storage room for all of our Christmas decorations that we put out at the appropriate time, at the beginning of Advent. Plus we have the cross, which goes on this stand, which we put out at Easter. We didn't do that this year because everything was different with the quarantine. And you can see those are the tall candlesticks that we tie to the pews, and we have them on Christmas Eve. We have them lit. And there are lots of tubs in here. This is just one. I want to show you that on top here, there is a chart, and this was put together by Michelle Stern. And she took pictures of how things look when they're decorated, and then she has a chart, and it numbers exactly what items are in what tubs, where you can find them, and then you can look at how to decorate. So if you volunteer in a future year to be part of the Advent and Christmas decorating, everything is very organized. It has to be, because we just have a little bit of space and a lot of things to put out. And you can start to see how many things we have hanging up here and stored here. And these are clearly, those are clearly silk poinsettias, because real ones would not be able to live here in the dark. And I brought you here partly because a member suggested this as a little known nook and cranny of the sanctuary that we can visit that you might not have seen before. And it also illustrates that there are different seasons, and God is at work in all these seasons. He brings them about. And that brings us to our theme, that God is in control of the seasons. I have a scripture from Daniel chapter 2. Now, Daniel was brought as a refugee from Israel to Babylon to serve in King Nebuchadnezzar's court. And because he was trying to be faithful to God, that got him in hot water a couple of times, as it did with his friends Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And at one point, the king had a dream, and he wanted someone to interpret it, very similar to what we had in Genesis with Joseph interpreting the Pharaoh's dream. And it came to Daniel in the morning, and he just praised God. He got up and he said these words, which he recorded later, Daniel 2, verses 20 and 21. He said, "Praise be to the name of God forever and ever. Wisdom and power are his. He changes times and seasons." Yes, he does. "And he deposes kings and raises up others." Daniel 2, 20 to 21. Can you imagine the gutsiness, the chutzpah of Daniel to go to King Nebuchadnezzar, who had his life in his hands if he wanted to, and to say, yeah, there's someone else in town that's a little more powerful than you. It is God. He's the one that controls the seasons, and he's the one that allows kings to be in control, and he knows what he's doing, so we can trust in him. That's our theme for today. I hope that you are trusting in God, even though a lot of things are kind of topsy-turvy, but the seasons are still changing. We have some beautiful weather today. I got out in my garden a little bit yesterday afternoon, and I have to tell you, I came home, and Shannon had our garden shed gutted, and she said I wasn't allowed to go out there at first because she had everything removed for the spring cleaning, and it's good because a lot of chaff and riffraff start to collect in there. And she said, we're going to throw out some things that you have not used for 10 years. And actually, by the grace of God, we did, and I lived through it, and I lived to tell you about that. So God is changing seasons, and God is still in control. I hope you are trusting. We're going to finish with a song, but first let me remind you that tomorrow we have a live feed for our virtual worship service, and there will be something where the children can participate and sing along. So I hope they rise early enough, and I want to see them shine. And if you get there early and you have a Google account, you can greet others. You can be a greeter tomorrow in the virtual worship. And the links are on our website. Also, I'm about to put them on our Facebook page. And I believe Marlene has sent them to people who get them by email. So we want to make sure people get the link for the service. And it will be the one that shows Noah's Ark. And you can also download the bulletin for that. So our song for today builds on the theme that God is working in times and seasons. He's doing his work, and it is going to be good. And our song will also be our prayer today. In your time, you make all things beautiful. In your time, Lord, please show me every day, as you're teaching me your way, that you do just what you say in your time. Let us put our trust in God, in God's time, to do what he's doing in our lives and in the lives of our friends and family. And may we spread joy, and may we share his love with everyone that we have some kind of contact with now. See you tomorrow in worship.